Hello, in this video, I'm going to tell you about adaptive immunity. So adaptive immunity are the defenses that involve specific recognition of a microbe once it has made it through our innate immune defenses. So if a microbe, a pathogen of some kind gets through our innate defenses, it gets through our skin, mucous membrane, everything else, and now it's in our internal environment of the body, then our adaptive immunity has a chance to kick in. So it's very specific. We have a specific response to a specific microbe. It's also slower to respond, but once we've had an immune response, then there's memory of that immune response so that we can respond to it quicker next time. It's also referred to as specific or acquired immunity. Okay, so our adaptive immunity, we have two kinds, antibody-mediated immunity and cell-mediated immunity. So antibody-mediated immunity is executed by B cells and cell-mediated immunity is executed by T cells. And I will be sharing more detail on both of those types of immunity in future videos. So what happens is we have B cells and T cells that are first born from the bone marrow, from our red bone marrow, produces our B and T cells. When those are produced, they're called naive B cells or naive T cells. And that just means that they're kind of a blank slate. They haven't yet met the pathogen that they're going to spend their whole lives destroying. So we've got these naive cells that are traveling through the body and the blood and the lymph. And one day they're going to encounter a pathogen. So that pathogen, it could be like a flu virus, a COVID virus, a bacteria, whatever it is. They're going to meet a pathogen. And when they do, they're going to bring back a piece of it to the helper T cells and get confirmation of whether they should destroy more of these or not. So the helper T cells are going to confirm, yes, this is a bad thing, we should destroy it. Or it's going to say, no, leave that alone. That's part of the pancreas or whatever it might be. The helper Ts are there to help the B and T cells determine whether something is actually foreign and dangerous or whether it's like strawberries and we should just be okay with it, or it's part of our own body. So once the B or T cell gets confirmation that, yes, this is a bad thing, let's kill it. Now that B or T cell is going to forever declare itself the enemy of that particular pathogen. So like, let's just say a B cell encountered a specific strain of the flu. Now that B cell is forever only going to kill that strain of the flu. So it's going to totally ignore any other pathogen it might ever meet because it is going to spend its life focusing on that strain of the flu forever. At that point, we would call that B or T cell differentiated. So as opposed to naive, where it's like a blank slate and it hasn't found what it's supposed to kill yet, instead, now it's differentiated because now it has declared itself the enemy of a specific thing. If it's a B cell, when it differentiates, we also call it a plasma cell. So it doesn't really mean anything special. It's just a B cell that has differentiated. It's a B cell that knows what it's going to spend its life killing. So at that point, that differentiated cell spends its whole life killing only that specific pathogen. It also will then go through clonal selection, which is where that B cell then replicates itself and makes a whole army of clones that are exactly identical to that original cell. So basically, there's two ways that B and T cells come to be. The naive ones are produced in the red bone marrow. So those are the blank slate cells that could kill anything. And then we also have the clone B or T cells that were never a blank slate. They were always only going to kill that one pathogen because they're an exact copy of that B or T cell that already differentiated. And I'm going to do another video in a few days that is covering clonal selection. So if you'd like to learn more, hopefully you'll stay tuned. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.